Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a quick video on how to read crochet diagrams such as this one. These are visual patterns of how to work stitches and do things like create granny squares or create blankets or create a stuffed animal or whatever it happens to be. Like for example, this one is showing how to make a basic traditional granny square, but I do have another one that's more complicated. So what we're going to do first is these symbols, each one represents a stitch or a chain or something along those lines that is part of the building blocks of the piece that you're making, in this case the granny square. These are pretty much standardized. This is a printout of the different symbols that are used. You can see that when you see this, you would mean to make a magic ring. This, it would be to slip stitch. This indicates a chain stitch. This is a single crochet. Either of these would mean a single crochet. That one right here would be a half double. This is a double. This is a treble. By the way, these are using US terms, not UK terms. So you would have to make adjustments intellectually as you follow the pattern. There's your double treble, a triple treble. There's a decrease, there's an increase. Come back up here, 3 chain picot, 3 double crochets in 1 chain space, like on the granny square, 3 double crochets in 1 stitch, a popcorn stitch, a bobble stitch, a 3 double crochet cluster, or what I call 3 double crochets work together, back loop only, double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet. So what we can do is we can take a look at this pattern right here, and you can see, for example, this set of blue marks right here, that right there is the 3 double crochets in 1 chain space. It's the exact same symbol right there. And you can see the little ovals, those are chain stitches. So when you're looking at this, for example, in the center, you see the solid dot. That means you want, there's your chain, your slip stitch. And here's your chain 4 or 5. It depends on how the person writes their pattern. In this case, it's a chain 4. Some people prefer a chain 5. This also shows, let's take a look this way. Once you do this part, this is telling you to chain up 3. Now, I would work a little, you would go this way, and you do 2, you can see, do 2 double crochets, not 3 like here. This is because this chain counts as a double crochet. So you technically have 3 double crochets here, it's just that this one is represented by your 3 chains. Here, you would go to the chain 2 next, then you would do your 3 double crochets. Let's come on around. You would do your chain 2 right here. This is creating your corners, by the way, right there. You would follow that with your 3 double crochets, then you would chain 2, follow that with 3 double crochets, right? And then you would do your chain 2 and you would slip stitch. You can see this with the solid little dot, okay? Slip stitch into that particular chain, the top one on the chain 3. And that's the first round of your traditional granny square. At that point, you would chain up 3, or you could chain 4. It depends on whether or not you want to turn your work, but this is telling you to chain 4. Here's your chain 3. There's your chain 1. This is creating the empty space, or the chain 1 space, that this row is going to be built into. But you would chain 1, followed by your 3 double crochets. What this is doing, as you can see, this is creating the edge, the straight edge of the granny square. This particular round that they have in green, it's not all corners like the first one in blue. Now you're building your edges that you're going to be working into. The great thing about these diagrams is you're basically looking at a granny square on paper. So basically you would also chain 3, you would chain 3. What am I thinking? 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets into this corner. So you can see that along the sides, right, you have your chain 1, okay? But in the corners, you have your chain 2s. That's how this person created this pattern. So this is, like I said, this is your basic traditional granny square. And when you know what to look at or what you're looking at on paper, you know what stitches to put where. And really, once you get used to reading this, you don't need to read a pattern that has like the whole thing spelled out with text, where you have 2 DC, which means 2 double crochets, 1 SC, 1 single crochet, CH2 for chain 2, that kind of thing. You can look right at this and see immediately where to put how many stitches, what kind of stitches, and what to do next. And so what that means is once you take a look at these symbols, right, and you learn what they mean, you can look at something that is brand new to you, right, such as this. I've never seen this before. It's just something I pulled randomly off the internet. And I thought, oh, I can do that. I know what I'm looking at there, okay? So let's take, for example, let's take this pattern. Let's see if we can work on this with some yarn and my hook and see how far we get. Like I said, I've never seen this pattern before. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called. It's some kind of square. Looks very interesting. So let's take a look at what it's asking us to do. The first thing I'm going to look at is right here. This is the slip stitch, and these are the number of chains that I need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what I'm going to do, my throat is still a little messed up from when I had been ill. So just bear with me if I have to clear my throat periodically. So there's the slip stitch, right? So this wants me to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chains, and it wants me to join with a slip stitch right there. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So join with a slip stitch the 2 ends, okay? So we're going to go ahead and join with a slip stitch, okay? Right. Let me pull that through. I probably should have put my glasses on. Now, what does the pattern want me to do now? It wants me to chain up 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what that means is these 3 chains count as a double crochet, and this is a chain 1, and as you can see by looking at the rest of that round, this is a series of double crochets, and they're separated by chain 1s. This is going to give it like a wagon wheel type of look. Okay, so chain 4, and then do double crochets into this ring down here, and separate all of these double crochets with a chain 1. I can see already what it wants me to do. Now, how many double crochets is there after the chain? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and each one has to be separated out by a chain 1. So we've already got our first double crochet in chain 1. So let's do this. Here we go. Double crochet number 2, okay, chain 1, and we're working into this ring. I do like to pull the ring snug with the tail periodically. I feel like it just makes more sense. Did I chain 1? Yes, I did. Make sure I didn't forget that step. Okay, 2 double crochets and a chain 1. There we go. 3 double crochets and a chain 1. I need to move that ball of yarn around. 4 double crochets and a chain 1. Okay, very good. 5 double crochets followed by a chain 1. Here we go. Let me just pull on that a little bit. Make sure everything is lined up properly. Now let's do double crochet number 6, followed by a chain. Now let's do number 7. Okay. Number 7, followed by a chain. Double crochet number 8. Okay. Followed by a chain. Double crochet number 9. We're almost there. Followed by a chain. Now this one is going to be number 10. Come on now. Followed by a chain. Now let me just take a look at my work before I do my last one. Just want to see how this is coming together. Very good. Now I'm going to do my 11th, my last double crochet. Come on now. There we go. And a chain 1. And what the pattern is telling me to do is join with a slip stitch when I come back around to the chain 3. To the chain 4, really. So what you want to do is, here's your chains. There's the first, the second, and the third. In the third one, that's where you make your slip stitch. Right there. Because remember, the pattern itself, our printout, has a little black dot right there, which is a slip stitch. And now we have this sort of wagon wheel looking thing with a total of, when you count the chain here, 12 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they're all separated by a chain 1, as indicated by the little ovals on the printout. So, what does it tell me to do next? Okay, it wants me to chain 3, and it wants me to make 1, 2, 3 double crochets, a double crochet cluster. So let's go ahead and see what that's going to do. And it's going to do right here in this. Where do you place that? You place that right here where this oval is. That's a chain. So in that chain 1 space, that's where you're going to work your cluster. So this is how I do this. I'm going to go ahead and do a slip stitch right here into that chain 1 space, so I can move the hook to the proper spot. And I'm going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And this is how you would work this particular cluster. You want to yarn over, like you're going to do a double crochet, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2, but you stop right there. Okay? Now, yarn over again, insert the hook into that chain space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2 hooks on the loop right there. This is exactly what you want it to look like. Yarn over one more time, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and then pull through 2 loops only. And what you're going to end up with is 4 loops on the hook. That's exactly what it should look like. And you can see right here, there are the little legs of the double crochets. but they're not finished yet. So what you want to do is yarn over, pull that yarn all through all 4 of those loops, just like that. And then just chain 1 to hold it all in place. And there's your cluster right there. It kind of looks like a little flame, doesn't it? So now what the pattern is asking to do is to chain 2 and then go to the next chain 1 space and make another cluster. So we're going to chain 2, okay? We're going to move to this space over here. We're going to do another cluster consisting of 4 double crochets. So we do it this way. Yarn over, pull up a loop, there we go. There's the first one. You can see the leg right there. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, okay. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops only. There's 2 out of 4 legs right there, okay. Do it one more time. Okay, right there. Now we need 1 more. We're not quite done yet, so we need 1 more. I'm gonna have to pull some yarn off of this, off of the ball of yarn. I just knocked over my bottle of water. So let's do the last one. Yarn over, insert the hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through 2 loops on your hook right there. You can see you've got 4 legs right there. You have 5 loops on your hook. There's the one right back here, okay? And these right here are the tops of those incomplete double crochets. So that's what that is. So you can take a look at how that comes together. And then what you want to do is yarn over and pull through all of the loops on your hook. Chain 1. And there's your next cluster. You can see it's got 4 little legs right there. It's like 4 double crochet stitches that all share the top. They all share a head. So what does it want to do now? What is the pattern saying to do now? We need to chain 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Now what is it asking you to do? Well, it's got a slightly different symbol right over here in this corner. This is a treble crochet because you've got your long stick here with your cross at the top, and it's got 2 hash marks. Those are yarn overs. So what you want to do, and we're going to make that, by the way. Ah, you're going to put this right into the top of this double crochet from this row down here. You can see that it's directly above it. So, and there's the stitch right there that we want to work into, okay? Right there. We're going to go right into the top of that V. So, yarn over twice on your hook. Come down here to the stitch, insert into the top of the stitch and yarn over, and pull up a loop. Nice and tall. This is a very tall stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2. There's the first pull through. This is why it's called a treble in American terms. Yarn over again, pull through 2 loops. There we go. See how tall that is? Now yarn over one more time and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. See how tall that is? This is going to be a very large square. Now the pattern says at this point that we need to chain 3. We're working a corner here, and we need to do that. We need to do that cluster in the next chain 1 space. So we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I've never seen this pattern before in my life, so it's not like I've memorized this. I'm just reading what I'm seeing on the print. So what you want to do is yarn over, and we're going to work a cluster exactly like this one into this space according to the instructions. So insert that hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops on the hook only. Voice is getting really scratchy here. Yarn over again, insert the hook, pull up a loop, there we go. There we go. Now we've done 2 of them. We've got 2 legs right there. Let's do a 3rd one. There we go. All right, we've got our third one. Now let's do the fourth one that goes in there. There we go. And we've got 5 loops on the hook, and we got our 4 little legs right there. Please pardon me. I'm so sorry about the scratchiness in my throat. So now we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all those loops. Come on, cooperate with me here. My tension's a little tight, and plus I'm using a very different hook than what I'm used to. So I'm going to yarn over and do like a chain 1 to keep this all together. Now we're coming around this way. It looks like what the pattern is asking us to do. We've just done this cluster right here. Now we need to chain 2, work a cluster, chain 2, work a cluster. We're building the side, we're building the edge of this square now. So let's go ahead and work those stitches. Chain 2, okay. We're not going to work into this double crochet right down here. We're going to go into the space. And we're going to do exactly the same thing as we did right there. So yarn over. There we go. Pull up the loop. Pull through 2. That's the first part. Let's go ahead and do this. Pull through 2 only. There's 2 of them. 2 out of 4. There we go. There's 3 out of 4. Let's do 4 out of 4. Through 2 only. And then yarn over and pull through all of the loops on the hook and chain 1. So that way they're all together. Chain 2. And we skip over this next double crochet down here. We're going to do the same thing as we just did in the space following it. So we're going to work our cluster. Here we go. The first one. The second out of 4, okay. Third out of 4, okay. And 4 out of 4. We have our 4 little legs there. We have 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through them all, and then chain 1. Now what do we do after this? The pattern is saying to chain 3 and then work a treble into this double crochet down here, right into the top, and then chain 3 again. So, and you can see, by the way, the little cross hatch at the very top here, that represents that V that's on top of that stitch. It's part of the stitch. So, what we're gonna do, let's chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I need to pull out some more yarn real quick here. And we'll have plenty of yarn to work with here. What we want to do, wrap twice, okay? And then we're going to come down here to the double crochet stitch, insert the hook right into the top of it, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull it up good and tall. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 and chain 3. This is working out pretty good. You can see that we have a corner down here and we have an edge here, right? So now what does it want you to do? It wants you to, we're coming around this side now. We're going to work this cluster into the following chain 1 space. So here we go. We start with the clusters. Okay, and then we work the first half of a double crochet 4 times. Sometimes I wonder if part of what is being such a problem for my voice is allergies, because there's a lot of pollen in the air right now. Okay, so let's yarn over and we can pull through that. Chain 1. Now, as you can see, we're looking at a series of 3 double crochet clusters separated by chain 2s. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another one right here into the next chain 1 space. There's the first one. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. And here's number 4. Okay, very good. Yarn over, pull through all of those loops for your chain. And now you chain 2 again. And into the next chain 1 space, we're going to do another cluster. Okay. First half of the first one. First half of the second one. First half of the third one. Okay. And now the fourth one. Yarn over and pull through all of those loops and chain 1. We're just following instructions as the pattern, and you can see it forming already. And this is what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so let's keep going. What we now want to do, we want to chain 3, do this treble, and chain 3 again. And this treble is going to attach to the top of this double crochet down here. So we're going to chain 3. Okay, here we go. We're going to work into this stitch right there. Wrap the yarn twice. Okay, come down to this stitch. Find that little V at the top. Go directly into it. Yarn over, pull up a loop nice and tall. Just let the yarn slide through your fingers. There we go. There we go. And chain 3 again. That's giving more space for the corner. We're almost all the way around. So what we're going to do, as we can see on the printout, there's our clusters. They're separated by chain 2s, and they're worked into the chain 1 spaces of the row below. So here we go. Let's do the cluster. We do the first half of the first, first half of the second, the first half of the third, and the first half of the 4th double crochet that you want to put here. All right, we got our 4 legs, got our 5 loops on the hook, and we pull through all those loops and chain 1, chain 2. Okay, going to work into this next space. We're going to do another cluster, same as we've been doing. There we go. We just do the first half of the double crochet 4 times. There we go. I'm going to pull out some more yarn real quick here. Pardon me. And here we go. We have our 4 legs of our double crochet, and we pull through all of those loops, chain to hold it in place. Look at that. This is looking really good. Chain 2. Jump over the next double crochet, come right over here to the space, and work a cluster. I think one of the things that I really like about diagrams is that they are universal. A person who speaks English like me and a person who speaks Spanish like my coworker, and she can crochet too a little bit, can look at this diagram and make the same square, regardless of whether or not we read English or Spanish or whatever, because the symbols are the same no matter what language you speak. So now that you have these 3 clusters, you're going to chain 3, work the treble, and then we're going to chain 3 again. So, so we've already gone 2, 3, there we go. Now we get to work the treble, so we have to wrap twice. Admittedly, trebles, they've given me a little bit of a problem before, but I just kept at it. There we go, because you don't want it too loosey-goosey at the top, so you kind of have to let the yarn slide through so it looks nice like that, and you don't have a huge gap at the top. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And what we have here, we've come back around here to the starting point. Okay, we're almost done actually. So as you can see, each side in this row has these 3 clusters, 3 clusters, 3 clusters, 3 clusters, all separated by chain 2s. When you get to the corner, it's a chain 3 and a treble and a chain 3. Now, what we're looking at now, we're almost completely done with this. All we need to do is make 1 cluster, and it's going to be, here's the 2 that we made when we started this round. You can see them right there. So all you have to do is work the next cluster into the chain 1 space. There we go. Just like we've done before. I am a little limited on time, so that's why I'm moving a little bit quickly. So do please bear with me. There we go. Pull through all those loops. Chain 1, chain, chain. And now we have to join with a slip stitch right there at the top of the chain 3. So we come over here. There's chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. This is the 1. And let's go ahead and make our slip stitch. Pardon me. Right there. Let's see what we have so far. There's 1 more row to go, but let's see what we have so far. It looks like it's going to work out to be a very pretty, lace, almost lacy kind of square. Okay. And it probably is best worked, I would think, in 1 color. We can see our corners with our tall treble crochets. So let's go ahead and put the hook back in here. Now, it wants to chain up 3, and what we're actually going to do is chain 5, okay? And then we're going to do a series of double crochets. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my hook to the center of this cluster. So I'm going to slip stitch right here to the center stitch in that cluster. I'm going to chain 5. This is going to make this a really big square. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more. 5. Okay. And we're going to go to the chain 3. That's right over here. And we're going to work these double crochets into these chains, into the chain space. So what we're going to do, these are just regular double crochets. 1, 2, 3, okay, and 4. There we go. 4 double crochets. Now it says chain 2. Okay, we're up here. Now we need to do a treble into the top of the treble of the row below. Let me go ahead and move my stitches around a little bit. I want it nice and balanced. Wrap twice, go into the top of that treble crochet, and we're going to work a nice tall treble. Okay, there we go. We're going to chain 2. And it looks like all the way around, all it's asking the artist to do is to place 4 double crochets into the chain spaces in the corner. And right here, you see in the middle, we're going to be working a double crochet into the top of that cluster. So let's do 4 double crochets here. 1, and a second, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, right, followed by a chain 2. And we're going to not work anything here. We're not going to work anything here. We're going to come to this cluster and we're going to put a double crochet right into the top of it. So we skip this, okay? Because there's 3, so you want it nice and balanced. Okay, so there we go. We're gonna work our double crochet right here and chain 2. We're going to jump over this space, jump over this cluster, and work 4 double crochets into the chain 3 space of the row below, exactly as per the instructions. One, 2, 3, one more, 4. You've already come over here to this side of the square. So now it says chain 2 and work a treble. So we're going to chain 2. Here's our treble. We're going to connect it right there. Wrap twice, insert the hook, pull up the yarn real tall. I got a little sloppy there, but this is just a demo. Chain 2, coming around this side now. And we're going to, we did our treble. We need to follow the pattern as it shows right here. Look at that. Look at that. This thing is huge. Now, we need our 4 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, and number 4. Okay, chain 2. We're going to come to the cluster right here in the middle of the row, work a double crochet, exactly as the pattern is telling us to do. Chain 2, right? I beg your pardon. And now, here's our chain 3. We're coming over here. Here's our 4 double crochets. One, 2, 3, 4. Chain 2. Now we're right over here where our treble is, our nice tall treble. That's where we want to work a treble. Right into the top of the stitch. There we go. There we go. Chain 2. Now right here is the space where we work our 4 double crochets as the pattern is telling us to do. Pretty consistent. One more. There we go. Spin it around. We're getting there. Chain 2. All right, there we go. Now we need to work a double crochet into the very center stitch of this cluster right here. And like I said, I think it's great that the diagrams are so universal. Pardon me. Look at this. This thing is massive. It's quite large. So let's work our 4 double crochets into the chain 3 space as the diagram shows us. Okay, chain 2. Okay, working that corner up there. We're going to work our treble crochet right here into the top of the treble. There we go. We're going to chain 2. We're going to work 4 double crochets into the chain 3 space. We're going to chain 2. Now, look at this. Look at that, we're back around to the beginning again. What we need to do, this right here is serving as a double crochet in the chain 2 spaces that we've been doing as we've gone all the way around. So what you want to do, 1, 2, 3, you find the 3rd chain coming up from the bottom, and you work your slip stitch into that particular stitch. That way everything is even and balanced. Now let's take a look here. I'm going to pull the loop out nice and tall. And there it is. That's exactly what this picture is showing us. Is this particular square. Now, you don't have to change color, but I can imagine what that would look like in 2 or 3 different colors. A lot of times, diagrams will suggest color changes, you know, if they have different colors right on them, you know, to do this part in blue, this in green, and this in pink. But once you get accustomed to seeing what the symbols mean, you know, where to chain, where to cluster, where to double crochet, this is all you really need to follow a pattern and to end up with a lovely motif. This probably would be really good if you did several of these and made a shawl out of it, don't you think? Or you could put them together into an afghan or possibly a pillow cover or something along those lines. And there you have it. That's how you would follow a diagram to make anything that you wish. And there's the result. How fabulous is that? Happy stitching!